Ever wonder how the price of, well, anything gets decided? From your morning coffee to your phone, there's this incredible balancing act going on just beneath the surface. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and see exactly how it works.
It really all boils down to one simple question. Why does a brand new video game cost $60 while a loaf of bread is, just a few dollars? The answer is this powerful idea that shapes almost every purchase you ever make, and it all starts with two key players. To get a handle on pricing, you've got to meet the two stars of our show, demand and supply. Just think of them as these two giant fundamental forces that are constantly pulling and pushing on every single product out there. Now here's where it gets really interesting. These two players want the complete opposite thing. On one side, you have the buyers, that's us. And our rule, demand, is pretty simple. The cheaper something is, the more of it we want, right? But then you have the sellers. Their rule, supply, is the exact mirror image. The higher the price, the more they want to sell, because hey, that means more profit. So when you see this on a graph, the law of demand creates a curve that always slopes downward. It's just a fancy way of showing what we already know intuitively. As the price drops, the number of people who want to buy it goes up. And on the flip side, the law of supply is that mirror image. This curve always slopes upward. Why? Well, because higher prices are a huge incentive for sellers. If they can make more money on something, they're going to produce and sell more of it. Make sense? Okay, so we've got these two forces pulling in completely opposite directions. Buyers want low prices, sellers want high prices. So, how does anything ever get sold? They have to find some common ground, right? A point of agreement, a sweet spot. And this is where the magic happens. When you put both of those curves on the same graph, they cross. They intersect at one and only one single point. We label that point E for equilibrium, and believe me, it is the key to everything. This point, market equilibrium, is that moment of perfect balance. It's the one price where the number of things people want to buy is exactly the same as the number of things sellers want to sell. Nothing's left over, there's no waste, everybody's happy. But let's be real, the world isn't always perfect, right? What happens if the price isn't at that sweet spot? What if it's way too high or way too low? Well, this is where the market shows its amazing ability to fix itself in this constant price tug-of-war. So, let's say a company puts out some new sneakers, but they price them way too high. At that price, the company wants to sell a ton of them, but not many people are actually buying. This gap right here, that creates what economists call a surplus. Now, the market hates a surplus. First, all those sneakers just start piling up on the shelves, gathering dust. So what does the store do? They put them on sale. They have no choice but to lower the price to get rid of them. And just like that, the price starts to fall, moving right back down toward that equilibrium balance point. Okay, let's flip it. Imagine tickets for a super popular concert go on sale for way too cheap. At that price, everyone wants to go, but there's only a limited number of seats. This time, the gap between what people want and what's available creates a shortage. So, how does the market fix a shortage? Well, you've seen this one before. When there aren't enough tickets, people start competing for them. They're willing to pay more than the original price. This is where scalpers come in. And all that competition naturally pushes the price up, once again guiding it right back toward that equilibrium point. This whole automatic, self-correcting thing, it has a name. It's called the price mechanism. You might have even heard it called the invisible hand of the market. This unseen force that's always pushing and pulling prices back to where they're supposed to be.
But here's the thing, that sweet spot, that equilibrium point, it's not set in stone. The world is always changing, and when it does, that point of balance has to shift right along with it. Markets are never standing still.
So what kind of stuff can shake up the whole system? Oh, all kinds of real-world events. A product could blow up on social media and become a new trend. A new technology could suddenly make it way cheaper to produce something. Or heck, even a growing population means more people who need to buy things. Any of these can shift the entire curve. Let's use avocados as an example. We've all seen this happen, right? Imagine a big new study comes out that says they're a superfood. All of a sudden, everybody wants avocados. Demand just explodes. What's the result? The market finds a totally new balance point, a new equilibrium, where avocados cost more and way more of them are being sold.
Okay, now for a quick peek behind the curtain. Economists don't just, guess where this balance point is. They can actually pinpoint it with some pretty simple math. And don't worry, it's a lot more straightforward than it sounds.
Seriously, you don't need to be a math genius to follow the logic here. In step 1, all we're doing is setting the equation for demand equal to the equation for supply. That's just the math way of asking, where do these two lines cross? Then we do a little bit of algebra to get P for price by itself. Boom, the equilibrium price is 16. To finish, you just plug that price of 16 back into either of the original equations, and you get Q, the quantity, which is 68. It's just a super precise way to find that perfect market balance.
So, okay, we've got graphs, we've got a little math, but why does any of this actually matter in the real world? Well, this balancing act is basically the engine that runs our entire economy.
Understanding this one idea is kind of like getting the secret decoder ring for the economy. It shows us how millions of individual choices, your choices, my choices, all come together to set prices. It explains why we have shortages in sales and how they fix themselves. And it even lets us predict how things might change when something new happens, like a new invention or a big storm. When you strip everything else away, the idea is just so simple and so powerful. It's that one elegant point where what we, the buyers, want perfectly aligns with what they, the sellers, want to provide. It's a perfect match.
So the next time you see a clearance rack, a sold-out sign, or even just the price of gas on your way to work, you'll know the secret. You're seeing the result of this constant, invisible balancing act. So the question is, now that you know what to look for, what other tugs of war are you going to spot out in the wild?